Hello and welcome to Your Creativity Podcast, Episode 2. I'm your host, Mickey, and I am joined today by Copaesthetic Design, aka Buffy. How are you doing, Buffy?
I'm doing well as I can. How are you?
I'm the same. I'm doing as well as I can. Oh my gosh. Are you doing okay over there overall?
Hanging in there, yes.
Yeah.
Social distancing basically in my cave.
In your cave. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, your room looks like everything that I imagined your room would look like. I love is that the dress that you wore to Smash behind you?
Yes, it is.
Oh my
Yep,
gosh, that's
the one I
adorable.
made.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Um, so Buffy, I don't even remember how we first met. I just feel like I've
At a
known
merge,
you.
drink and draw. You were one
Okay.
of the models. Yes, at about a year or so ago, more.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I totally believe that. It just feels like so much longer. But yeah. And one of the reasons that I asked Buffy for you to be on the podcast today is because of your murals. So, like at Emerge, Buffy has a mural like in the bathroom stall. So, like you go into the bathroom, you go into like one of this specific stall, and you see this mural that Buffy has made. And you've also done one in like Raleigh downtown on the sidewalk, right?
Yes, on Salisbury Street by the convention center.
Yeah. So obviously, like I know so little about like the mural process, and like you were telling me that it's really competitive, which I had no idea.
It is getting more and more competitive every day because more and more artists are getting into it. So, yes.
Why do you think? Do you think that there are like more opportunities for it, and so more artists are joining? Like, what do you think is like causing more artists to join it?
I think probably word of mouth. People are finding out that that's available, so more people are applying for it that weren't before. And then there's more artists who are beginning to do it too that hadn't before. So there's both. So.
Wow. Okay. So before, because I definitely want to talk about like the application process for murals with you, but before we
Mhm.
do that, I do just want to ask like the super basic question for like, tell me about your background and like how you got into like art and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so art is probably ingrained in my DNA. It's something I've always done in one form or another my whole life, but not as a career. It wasn't until I moved to North Carolina that I decided that was going to be what I was going to do professionally. But I didn't have a lot of formal training in it, so there was a lot I had to learn first. So I went to college for communication arts to do web design. I was doing graphic design and photography, all visual things. I took a minor in art studio, not thinking that was going to be what I would try to eventually do as a business. And then once I moved here, that's what I circumstances led me to become an artist. So.
That's awesome. Well, and that's awesome. And then, so kind of from that, like did you immediately think to yourself like, oh, like I'm gonna go to murals, or did that come like later? And so like what brought you into murals?
Okay, so I'll go back to when I was in high school, and I was approached by somebody probably from an art guild that came into my art class, and she told me that if I just fill out one of these applications to apply for money, that I could paint a mural. But I was a high school student, and I was so intimidated. I already knew like the wall I was going to use, the two friends in the art class that were going to help me. I knew the three of us could do something awesome collaboratively, but I didn't know how to fill out that application and what to ask for money or supplies, and
That's
so I
yes.
didn't. I didn't do
Oh
it.
my
And
gosh.
so then I went on in life and tried to do other things that you're supposed to do, regular traditional jobs, whatever. And I always did the art on my own. And then when I moved down here, my husband, we were driving through South Carolina, and he's asked if I would ever be interested to do a mural because I was painting, for months. He would see it. And I said, absolutely. And I told him that story. And then I started thinking that I need to, I need to do a mural. So, and that's what I want to do, but I need to learn first how to paint and how to do that art before I try to do it professionally. So that's kind of where it started.
Wow. So when you got to do another like mural application, um, how did that go for you?
Uh, Um, so the the thing is with the merge, they made it easy for me because I was a member for since they opened and I was going to a lot of events. And just when they decided they were going to have the murals in the restroom, they asked if I would be interested. So it wasn't the traditional application process for them, but it
Yeah.
was something that I could do that I could put on my portfolio to show people, okay, I can do a mural. So that was a huge help. If it weren't for that, I might not have started yet.
Wow. That
So,
is
yeah.
crazy. That is crazy. And so obviously, like you got the one from Emerge a lot because like they knew you and because you had been a supporter and you had been there. Like I know you were there a lot, and you still go there a lot. I know that.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but then what was the application or what was like the process for when you got the one like on the sidewalk in front of the convention center in downtown Raleigh? Was that like a real application? Like,
Yes.
oh my
Yes.
gosh, that
Another
sounds so scary.
artist. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. In fact, I have the printout here. So basically, it is just how to apply. It's a one-page thing, and it just asks you what your written proposal is, 3 sentences. And I pretty much said, I want people who are strolling to work or home from work, and I want them to not just be lost in their headspace thinking about whatever they have to do, transactional things. I want them to actually stop and say, wow. Although I said that more succinctly in the application. And then they said the preferred location, and they gave you this map. So you literally in this area, you had to pick your top 3 choices. And so I literally went all around downtown scouting out locations, trying to find the spot. And I was surprised that my first choice was where it is located. They accepted it. So, and I think the reasons I picked that spot was it wasn't in front of a doorway to a business, so I wasn't going to block pedestrians to get in and out of a business, and I wouldn't then annoy the business that I was painting in front of. I wouldn't. It was a big enough sidewalk that people could walk around me both sides without having to step into the street, so I wouldn't block pedestrian traffic. It was near an area where I thought people going to and from the convention center. It wasn't until I was painting that mural that I realized how busy that area was with the people coming to and from work. So
Oh.
that was a surprise, a very pleasant surprise. And then it was a very clean, big sidewalk, so I could do a big mural. And then they asked you for your previous work, digital images. I only had one mural previously done, but I had paintings that I do. So I submitted those, and I think they asked for 5. And then you just write a list that describes what your paintings are, so they know to identify the pictures. So it's
Okay.
a very easy process, that one.
So did you have to get like so like maybe for that last question or for any of them, did you have to say like this is what I'm going to paint?
Um, so when I submitted the 5 images, I wasn't sure what I was going to paint. I knew I was going to scout the area and try to, because I think if people aren't familiar with my style, I kind of do a flat graphic style of people that's sort of cartoonish, Disney-ish, maybe. I don't know how to describe it, but
Yeah, no,
I
I
was
feel
going to
like
look
that's
at the
accurate.
people in the area. Yeah. And so I was going to see the actual people in the area, and then I was going to make some sort of scene that reflected that in a cartoony way. But when I submitted my application, they asked if I could, they liked one particular painting that I had did, and asked if I could do something based off of that. And so I was elated and said, sure, I can just switch it up so that it's more appropriate for the street, because the painting, she was in a bikini in a tropical setting, and I thought downtown is, you're not going to see a lot of people walking around in a bikini, so I put her in like a little cute outfit, and with a phone and a music headphones, so it was more what you would actually see.
Yeah, I love that. And that's so interesting to me. I mean, yeah, I agree. It's like super great that they told you like we'd like to see something like this. Like that really like kind of helped, I'm sure.
Oh yes, yeah, it made it easier.
Yeah. So another thing that we kind of talked about is because it's competitive and it has a lot of competition for a few openings. You mentioned that you could also talk about like rejection or like applying to something a
Yeah.
lot and getting rejection. So,
Oh yes.
would you mind just, I mean, talking about that?
Yes, I will say that you do get rejections, and when you get them, it's hard not to take them personally. I have shed some tears, especially in the beginning, because you have your hopes up and you're really excited, and you think, I have this for sure. And then you get the thank you for applying, but we only selected 3 people and 50 people applied. And so but you see the other artists' work, and like that their work is incredible. And so you understand that the people selecting the artists have the hardest ever job, because they have to pick who is actually going to do it. So I don't envy their position. And I do sometimes, take the sting of rejection, but I'm not to the point when I first started doing it. I have piles of applications to my side for the past couple of years.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but I keep trying.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's really like the important like piece. I know that I think that you said this that like there's some artists who like that get it like several hundred before they get one yes. And I think that
yeah.
like perseverance is something that like I think that people don't talk enough about sometimes in the arts. Like
Mhm.
all you need is like one yes. Or like another thing that is like sometimes I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, like I get told no a lot." But then like they find out that maybe like the thing that they've been trying to is kind of like not meant to for them, or like they've only been
Mhm.
applying to like grants that I kind of talked about before where it's like $25,000 grants, and it's like, okay, like
Mhm.
what if you applied for like a $5,000 grant, like like
Yeah,
those kinds of things. So yeah,
sure.
yeah, like
Um,
it's super interesting.
I apply for everything. So it can be from, we're only going to reimburse you for the supplies you bought, to $10,000 or more. Actually, there's some more. So literally, I doesn't matter what it is. If I feel like I am have a slimmest chance of being selected, I'll apply for it. So
Oh my gosh, that's incredible to me. So I have to know, how do you keep up with all the applications? Is it, yeah, like how do you even keep up? Do you have like a little spreadsheet? Do you just like know who to follow that talks about them? That's very impressive to me.
um, I in the beginning, I was a little bit better at following, because I wasn't doing a lot. But the busier I got, the harder it was for me to keep track of all the things coming. So I missed more than I saw. In fact, the one that I got in on Salisbury Street, I didn't see that call for art. It was another artist I met at Emerge who sent it to me and thought, hey, this might be good for you. And so I applied for it literally that weekend when the due date was, like
Oh
two
my
days
gosh.
before the due date. And then I got selected. So had she not sent that to me, I would have missed it. So yeah, so I should have a spreadsheet. What I've been doing when I find things is I print out things, and if I submit it, I put submitted on it, and I put it in my filing cabinet, and keep track of like what I have pending. because there's just so many places, and I really need to get more organized, but I'm not in the
No,
least.
yeah, but there are like that's like exactly it those. There are so many places and I really really like that I really like that you just print it out. You're just like you it's cuz I feel like
Mhm.
that means like you've committed to it. You're like done printing it. We have to
Yeah.
do this. It's on my desk. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's see. What else have we talked about? Oh my gosh, can you talk about your stickers? Talk about your
Oh,
stickers.
yes. Okay, so just because, well, now especially, artwork wasn't selling, at the original prices. And so I thought other artists were doing stickers based on their artwork. And so I was decided to give it a try. I had a show coming up in November, and I wanted to put something on the table that maybe if they didn't want to spend the money for a painting, then they would buy a sticker that matched the painting or was inspired by the painting. And so I started making stickers based on my previously created artworks. I think I'm up to 8 now, and I'm actually working on the one of the mural I did at Emerge. So that will be my next one.
Oh my gosh, I'm very excited
Yes.
because I love her. When I walk by in downtown Raleigh, she just makes me so happy. And it's funny that you said that. I think maybe I didn't know or I forgot that she was originally in a tropical setting because like that is it just makes so much sense because like her pose and her like whole demeanor just feels very like I'm so glamorous and like just hanging out and on vacation and that she just makes me so happy. So
Good. Yes.
um,
I almost didn't the water scene, but then I thought, there's bodies of water in, North Carolina and in the Triangle area, so I kept the body of water in it. So.
yeah, I love it. And also, one of the reasons that I love that you're doing stickers so much, and I think we've talked about this before, is that you're effectively like repurposing your content. Like you've created it kind of in the past, and you do have to do like some transitions to make it into like a sticker instead of like a painting. But overall, like
Yes.
you're not starting from scratch, I assume. Like you're starting with kind of like your base.
Yeah. When I did the mural, and that's what gave me the idea to do the stickers. When I did the mural that's on Salisbury Street, they asked, not only did they say they liked the painting and do something on that, they asked for the digital rendering first so they could see
Oh.
what my concept was going to be before I painted it on the sidewalk. So I had that digital, rendering of the mural, and that's what I used. I printed it out and to scale, so when I was painting I could reference it, um, and then so I had that, and then I thought, this would make a good sticker, and that's why I started making them. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love that so much. That's such a smart like I forget how many times like I have to like send something in kind of like because of like bureaucracy or like I send something in and then it doesn't get used and I just let it die. Like I don't think to myself, "You know what? You created that for like this reason, but you could reuse
mhm.
that for like for stickers or something like that." I love it.
I will go one step further.
Yes.
The mural that I did in America, those characters, the original inspiration for those characters was my charcoal gesture drawings that I did at the Drink and Draws at Emerge. So those characters, even though they look nothing like the models, their forms and their body positions and their poses are from what the poses of the models were doing during Drink and Draw. And I just had the charcoal gesture drawing, and I those were just sitting in a drawer in my studio, and I wasn't doing anything with them. And I thought, I want to repurpose these and make something more of them. And so when I was asked to do the mural at Emerge, I thought it would be appropriate if I used those gesture drawings as the inspirations for the characters. So,
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. I've been to like so many like drawing sessions where the artists get done, and I do know it's a balance, but like the artists will get done, and then I just watch them, and they're like, "All right, we drew today, trash." And I'm like, no, like you can use it for something. And so like that, just hearing that, it makes me so happy because that's exactly what you did. You used it for
Yes,
something.
yes,
And especially like because like you were using what you created at a merge to then do something beautiful at a merge. Yeah, that's just really beautiful.
yes. I thought that connection was appropriate.
It's
So,
so appropriate. It's perfect. Let me see. And so you also briefly mentioned that because of COVID-19, you've had some calls that you applied to that are delaying notification because of the pandemic. Can you like talk a
yeah.
little bit about that and like how that makes you feel? And
Oh, I'm sure you understand. I'm anxious too. Um, you when you're waiting for notification, you're literally almost holding your breath the days leading up to the day they're going to tell you yes or no. And I'm like watching every email I get just to see or did I not. And so then I got the notice that they're going to delay it by a week, and now I've not had a notice this week, so I don't know when it's going to get delayed too. So um, I'm trying to put it out of my mind, but it's always there. Like, okay, did I get this one? There's two that are pending right now. So
oh,
I'm trying not to think about it. Yeah.
oh my gosh, I so understand. I am trying so hard to find as many distractions as I can, but it is a balance because I mean, it all just comes
Yeah.
back. Like, yeah, it's like you're
Yeah.
trying to put it out of your mind, but it's still there.
And you're trying to have hope because you're like, things are going to go back to some semblance of normal after, we hope. So yeah, this helps to put that hope there that, okay, there's going to be an end point, and then we're going to start again and get back to the way hopefully it was, or some close the way it was. So
Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you're doing right now to maybe try to distract yourself or to just try to make use of this like time?
Um, well, I work from home, so my studio is my other room. This is my office space where I do the computer and the stickers and the website and the applications for my grants and the murals and the other projects. The other room is my messy room, and I tuck in there, and I can go 12 hours painting and the day just melts away. And I'm not listening to the news. I'm not listening to talk radio. I'm listening to my Spotify or my Audible, or I'm watching YouTube videos of other mural artists that I admire and follow, because someday I hope I'm going to do YouTube channels, but I'm not quite near that point yet.
Oh
So yeah,
my gosh, you gotta let me know the moment you make one because I'm gonna follow it.
okay.
Okay, anyway.
I'm gonna
Who are maybe some of the mural artists already on YouTube that you mentioned that you like to follow?
Okay. Well, I follow on YouTube and on Instagram. Instagram, I follow the local ones. So Dare Couture, Lisa Longaither, Sean Kernick, and there's a few others that are local that I follow. I love seeing their artwork here and around Raleigh. On YouTube, I follow ones that are not local. So there's one in Washington. He's called Ten Hun is his artist name, and I just love his style. It's very bright colors, like mine are very bright
Yeah.
colors, and I connected with that. It's very graphic-y style, flat graphic-y style. He's doing a little bit more rendering as he matured, but I watched all 5 years or more of his YouTube channel, and I took his online class in October, just because I wanted to try to incorporate that, and that turned into a painting and a sticker that I have. And then so he's Ten Hun, and then there's Kiptoe, Kiptoe, who's just phenomenal. And I think he originated in New Hampshire, but he moved out to California. And I've watched, I don't know, 5 or 7 years of his stuff too. So I was watching Ten Hun first, and then there was this artist called Slew who collaborated with him. So I watched his channel, and then Slew collaborated with Kiptoe. And so then I learned about Kipto. So I watched all of his, and then Kipto collaborated with an artist from Slovakia, and his name is Doke. He's more graffiti, but
Okay.
he transitioned from graffiti to other art eventually. I'm still watching his channel, so it's still in the early phase of his career that I'm seeing, before he got to the point where I saw him with Kipto. So yeah, so and then there's more that I have in my queue that they've mentioned that they idolize, so I'm gonna watch their stuff too.
Oh my gosh, I love
So
that. I love that you're just letting like people like pass you along to other people. Also, I have
oh
to come back to something that you just said a little bit ago because I got to give you mad props for separating your art space from your office space. I
yes.
think that is so wise.
I had to do that, yes. Plus I'm very messy in my art space, so yeah, my computer would not be very happy with me.
I have
I get paint
seen
on everything in there.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I was like, look, like I love people so much, but I have seen so many artists where they're just like flinging around a paintbrush, and I'm like, it is right there.
Yes. Yes, my phone, it's funny, not this phone, but my previous phone, in a group of people, if my phone was on a table with theirs, they always knew what my phone was because it was the one with paint splatter on it.
That's
So,
funny. Oh my gosh. Let's see. What else can we talk about? I'm gonna go back to kind of some of my other questions here. Well, actually, because we talked about what you're doing to, like, just kind of distract yourself during this time, and obviously, you're using this time. It looks like thinking about applications and planning those and like educating yourself on like other people's murals, but are there any other like maybe skills that you're working on, or that like that if you had all the time in the world, if you weren't also like definitely still working because the work of an artist never stops, that you
yeah.
wish you had time to work on right now?
Yes, actually I started, but then I was finishing up a project, so I put it on pause, but I'm about to start again. Um, um, Skillshare has 2 free months that you can, when you sign up for it, you can do 2 free months of classes, as many classes as you want in that 2 free months. And I learned that through watching Tenhun. They've sponsored him on his YouTube, and then they sponsored Slew, and then I think they sponsored Kipto too. So they sponsor the mural people on YouTube. And so I got 2 free months from Tenhun, and I started doing that. So in fact, all this week I was looking forward to getting back to taking my Skillshare classes because I was learning some really cool things, interesting things. You name it, from um, portrait drawing to graphic, fonts to anything you could possibly want to learn. And I picked everything in the art realm, anything I thought that would help my skills better me as an artist. So.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're just like, sign me up. I'm signing up for all of it in this 2 months. That's
I'm
awesome.
probably going to run out of time before I run out of the videos. There's that many to choose from, but I'm just going to nonstop go through that until my 2 free months is up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so maybe what is one of your like favorite, I want to say like favorite trends that you're seeing right now for artists? Because like we talked about, a lot more people are like applying to murals, so maybe that's like not a favorite trend. But is there anything that you are liking?
Yeah, I'm not just applying for murals for the calls for art. They've been doing a lot of things where they're wrapping things. So
Yes.
you do the art as a graphic design type of thing, and they put it on a garage, on a flag, on a bus stop, on the electric boxes, you name it. It's all over different types of things in the public space. It's your artwork that's printed onto vinyl, and then it's installed by that company, not by you, but you do the art on the computer. So I've been doing that. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you've been doing that because I've been seeing those. I think it's like mainly City of Raleigh, right?
Mhm.
And I
And
saw.
Durham
Okay.
and Blue Hill, yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, that's so exciting because Yeah, I've been seeing those like pop up, and they're just like a huge
Yeah.
opportunity, I think. And also, I mean, because is it really the first time that they're doing it? Like, is it?
They've been doing it for a couple of years. It's sort of been just more and more. Like I'm seeing it more and
Ooh,
more, the calls.
awesome. And so obviously you're working on a lot of different projects right now, and I'm sure you don't want to like talk about all of them, but if there's like one project that you are maybe like very excited about that you can share, well, it might be your stickers,
Well,
but
well, this I do love the stickers, but I have this passion project, and it, it started it's all on my website, so I won't go into too much detail, but it basically was this call at a meeting I went to, a symposium in Durham, for people to make art that had meaning. And so I I was working on doing this painting I was calling The Voices in My Head. And every because I had taken a workshop, and she said, why not write words on it, and the painting. And so what I do is, so I don't waste my paint when I'm going to wash off my materials at the end of the day, I put my paint on a canvas, that, or a couple of canvases that I have between where I'm actually actively painting and where my cleanup area is. So all the paint that I have left on my palettes and brushes, I put onto those waiting canvases. I call them the in-betweens. And so I started on one canvas just writing words, and it was over a few weeks or months even. And I realized towards the end I had filled it up with all of my thoughts. They were all of the voices in my head. And so I thought it would be appropriate if I put a portrait painting of myself on there, and titled it The Voices in My Head. But it was more pop art, so it's more like an Andy Warhol print of Marilyn Monroe, those bright colors, or a Picasso's The Woman in the Mirror or The Girl in the Mirror, where it looks like stained glass window kind of effect. And that's what my painting sort of reminded me of. And then I decided that's it. That's the series I want to make. And I didn't know what to call it at first. So I called it Voices as a working title. And now I call it Soul Searching, because
oh my gosh,
I'm
I
doing soul
love that.
searching.
I love that as the title.
No, because I'm doing soul searching, and I want other people to do a little soul searching as they're reading these people's stories. And so I've done two so far. And I just literally finished the other one this week, and I just posted it on my website literally before you called. I was rushing minutes before you started on your yeah, to get it posted. So
Oh my gosh.
I've done two so far, and I have a whole list of other people that I want to interview and get their stories and make paintings of. So
Oh my gosh, I love that idea. That is, I mean, and it also because you said like it goes back to that like art with meaning, which when people say that phrase to me, it makes me so afraid. Um, not afraid's not the right word. Intimidated. Intimidated's a better word. Um, because I kind of forget that art like kind of tends to inherently have meaning. You know, like whatever. I mean, that meaning could just be this looks nice, but that's still, um,
and
but
that's
that,
okay too. Yes.
yeah, and that's okay too. But that is really beautiful. That is really incredible. Um,
So I hope to have a whole bunch.
oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And I love like because like it has to do with the interviews, so it just feels very intimate in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Chat, just so you know, we will take questions at this time. If you put them into the chat here, I would love to pass them on to our guest. But otherwise, we'll just kind of keep talking a little bit, if that's okay.
Okay.
Um, what are some of the things? Well, I have my own opinions of this that I think that you do very well to promote yourself and promote your art. But what do you think that you do like to promote yourself that like works for you or that doesn't work for you?
Um, I have been literally trying to post to Instagram every day. It doesn't always happen, but I have been posting my behind this, because I heard behind the scenes pictures, if you don't have finished product, that people want to see that too. So it doesn't matter what it is, like this. So the painting I just finished, there's a lot of words in the painting. So it was like I tried to do it sort of like a graffiti style, like a graphic font style. So since I didn't have the finished painting, each day I tried to post at least a word that I had, even if it was just the start of it and I didn't have it fully painted out, just because I wanted to post every day, and get my stuff out there.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think we've talked about it before. Like you like Instagram, but are there like social media platforms that you don't like?
Um, I it's not that I don't like, it's just that I don't have time to keep up with them all. I have the Facebook one for my art page, but I at first I was putting stuff on there and Instagram, and also I have Twitter, but I just don't have time to post on Twitter. And then I was posting on both Facebook and on Instagram, but slowly Instagram has taken over and been the main thing that I've used. And unfortunately, Facebook is getting less and less activity. I just, because the more busier I get, the harder it is for me to also post about it too. So yeah.
But I also think that you're doing the right thing and that like you're just kind of prioritizing the one that makes sense for you. And also, by the way, I just wanted to say I really like the fact that like you talked about like posting once a day and like even doing like behind the scenes things because I think that something a lot of artists struggle with is that like unless they have finished pieces they have nothing that they can post. And so like I love that like behind the, like I try to remind people like behind the scenes pictures, like stuff you've posted before, like it's okay. Like people understand that you're not always going to have totally fresh new stuff.
Yeah, sure. And if I'm applying for, sometimes if I'm applying for something, I'll just maybe take a screenshot of some portion of whatever and say, well, cross fingers, I'm doing this, wish me luck or whatever, just because I didn't have, because sometimes the applications, what I showed you was very simple, but sometimes you're right, the applications are very complex and it takes days to put them together. So I don't have anything visual to show people because I was working on the application, and didn't create one single thing that I could take a picture of. So sometimes I have to get creative with whatever the post is going to be, even if I just take pictures of, my empty paint area saying, it's waiting for me. I don't know, something just
Yeah.
to say, I'm working, but I have nothing to show that's pretty.
Yeah. I'm still here, Instagram algorithm. Don't forget about me. But you're also not, because I meet so many people that stress themselves out so much over social media. And
Mm.
yeah, and for some of them, like they're just not creating enough, which is one avenue. But like, I mean, in your case, you just instead you're getting creative with your posts to accommodate
Mm-hmm.
your life.
Yeah. And if I'm working on my website, again, I'll take a screenshot and say, this is a new area I put up, or the stickers, I'm making this sticker, but it's not here yet, but I'm expecting it soon. Just stuff like that, just to let them know I'm still doing stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think that this is a perfect time for us to just kind of send off. But Buffy, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me. It was a bright spot in my day. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a bright spot. Any time that I talk to you was a bright spot in my day, honestly. Again, thank you so much for joining us for the Your Creativity Business podcast, and we'll see you again real soon. Okay, Buffy, we're still on stream, just so you know. We're still hanging out here. Rhinosaurus Rex, what is up? Thank you for that great interview. Thank you. Um, so, chat. Whenever we do a podcast, I'm like at high energy the whole time. So now we're chill. Now we're hanging out. Buffy, I think what we're going to do in chat, what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to a BRB screen. We're going to let the lovely Cope Aesthetic Design go about the rest of her day. And then I'll be back. Yeah. So here, let me switch to that BRB screen. We'll be back in one moment.